Welcome back to Board Adventures. Welcome to the manager's office, my little home here in Luzerne. And look at the trophy cabinet, absolutely brimming. The Swiss Cup now sits proudly at the centre, alongside the rosette we receive for winning the Polish second division and the certificate I earned for being French Ligue 2 manager of the season. But hold the phones. It could get even better. We thought we were coming back for just a casual end-of-season review, but the big two have dropped more points, and we could, today, on the last day of the season, exchange our spot in the Europa League for a Champions League berth. And if everything were to go our way, it's a small chance, but we could still be crowned champions of Switzerland. So after 18 months of doing absolutely nothing in Switzerland, how it's got to this, I have absolutely no idea. But this is the state of play. All of the top three are in action today. We've got Basel against St. Gallen. We've got Young Boys at home to Lausanne. We've got an away game at Sion. On paper, none of us have the most taxing of games. So you'd expect all three of those teams to win. If any team's going to louse it up, well, you'd put your mortgage on it being Luzerne. But here is the state of play at the top of the table. So we are still in with the minutest of chance, if there was a chain of events that fell in our favour of being crowned champions. We are 3 points behind Basel, but we have vastly superior goal difference. So if Basel were to lose today and we were to be victorious against Sion, we would go above Basel. But even if that were to happen, you then bring Young Boys into the equation. If Young Boys were to win and Basel were to lose, then even if we are victorious, we would not be able to finish above Young Boys. But look at that goal difference again. If Young Boys only draw, or if they were to lose as well, we could be crowned champions on goal difference, potentially from two different teams. These are the results that got us to that stage. So after the 4-0 victory over Young Boys in the cup final, we went back to play them again just 4 days later, and this time we beat them 3-0. Sebastian Harak was the hero, netting himself a hat-trick. So another clean sheet, another victory over Young Boys, and it set up a mildly exciting finish to the season. So these are the boys we're going to send out. Unfortunately, still no Petrelli, still no Ramasco either. This is as good a team as we can feasibly put out for today's game. We've got to do our bit. We've got to beat Sion, who are in woeful form and sit 8th in the table with absolutely nothing to play for. But often they are the teams that prove to be the banana skins. What we'll do during the game is we'll try and get the league table up. We'll also try and get the fixtures or the score lines on screen as well. It would take two absolute miracles for anything to be happen. Hey, right here, right now, if you offered us second place in a Champions League spot, well, we would probably take it. So let's G the boys up with talk of the Champions League and let's get underway. So we've got the league table on the screen there. We'll keep the match stats and let's also get the latest scores on screen as well. And let's keep our eyes half on the game and half on what's happening at Basel and what's happening at Young Boys as well. I mean, this is very unlikely. The chances of Basel and Young Boys both blowing it and us doing our bit, it's very, very unlikely. But you never know. At least it injects a little bit of incitement. No, Basel have gone ahead early. So it looks like they are going to wrap up another title as Harak goes through and plays it tamely back to the keeper. So Basel are in the lead. We've lost Young Boys. They're still drawing. Young Boys are the ones that are in the worst little spell of form. I mean, we've beaten them twice in a week, so they're not having the best of times. And we are, at the moment, not even doing our bit as Harak reins in from a corner and nods one over. So not only is the Basel result not going our way, but our boys aren't even doing their bit either. So we're far from pleased with them. and we're going to demand more of them right at the start of the second half. And I think the title is gone. So Basel are now 2-0 up. And we have got an injury, but there's still a Champions League place to play for. So what are we going to do over on the right wing? We're going to get John Yeboah on for Theo. Harak's not playing great. The best we can do on the bench is Campare. We'll save that little treat for later. So the league title is gone, but the Champions League spot hasn't. We're going to check in on Young Boys in a second. They were drawing 0-0. I think if we score a goal, we would leapfrog them. Perhaps temporarily, but we would leapfrog them. Imagine Champions League football at Luzerne. And the Bobster has crowned the end of the season with a lovely left-footed volley. Peter Wright gets the assist. Bobster, that was a crisp shot. The Ott pulls all of the strings back there. By the way, after the game, we're going to show you what clubs are interested in our players. If that Otter is with us next season, I will be aghast. But we are in the lead. We're pausing the game. What's happened to Young Boys? They've gone 3-0 up. Oh, they nicked a couple before half-time. Okay, I think we just got to content ourselves then. Let's make some substitutions. Let's get some old friends on. Then we'll get Campare on for a game up front. We're going to give Muesli a bit of action in the midfield. That's our 3 subs made. Let's even just go attacking to give the away fans hopefully some entertainment before the end of the season. It was a long shot. I mean, winning the title was certainly a long shot. Coming second even was still a very slim hope. The big 2 in Switzerland have done what the big 2 in Switzerland do. They've got their victories. But let's just remind ourselves of that form. We've had 1 defeat since we came back after the winter break. And that was to Basel. Hey, if we hadn't lost that game, if we'd have won it, champions we would have been potentially. But we get a win on the final game of the season. We've got another clean sheet. That's a pleasing amount of clean sheets. Let's just give them a nice little end of season boost. And so there is our final place in the table. We're finished 3rd. We're 3 points behind Basel. But my goodness, what a run-in we had. So we came back after the winter break against Servette. We'd actually gone 2 undefeated going into the winter break. It was just that one little blot on our copybook against Basel. That was the game that Petrelli was injured the day before in. Could have been a little bit different if Petrelli had been playing. But look at that huge swathe of clean sheets. So we are going into next season optimistic. But will we be going into next season with the same players? I'm not sure. We've got Tanguy Kouassi wanted by a bunch of clubs, the biggest of which looks like Napoli. We've got Finn Ott with a £30 million release clause in his contract. 3 of those teams we're not too worried about, but Manchester City being interested, a little bit of a worry. I think teams are in for Theo. We've got teams interested in Carmona, though I think we can fend off the interest of Nons. The other player who we would be very nervous about losing would be Petrelli, and we've got Milan, Inter, Napoli, all back in his homeland of Italy. So I think we've got a busy summer trying to discourage would-be suitors from stealing our best players. The only final thing to do to wrap up this season is to have a little look at the end of season awards. I imagine it's going to be a straight shootout between Petrelli and Ott. Let's take a look. So here we go then. I'll be highly surprised if the Ott's name is not in there somewhere. So end of season awards, fans player of the season, Finn Ott, 77% of the votes. Petrelli only picks up 12%. So that's a little bit surprising. Signing of the season for Petrelli, goal of the season for Petrelli, young player of the season, the Otter. I'm surprised the Otter managed to win that by such a distance. But we are now going to go away and have an action-packed summer. We've got to try and get a squad together that can play European football, we're going to have to scour the markets. We would like fullbacks, we'd like another winger, we'd like a goalkeeper. We need to add a little bit more of a Swiss accent to our squad as well to make sure we've got enough players to register for European competition. So we're going to go and do all that. You go and have yourself a well-earned break, and we are going to see you very, very soon as we try and continue our border adventures.